You wait 3 days, the max you can get is 50,000. If you wait 5 days, the max you can get is 75,000. So they set up sort of all these little honeypots to sort of deflect against people doing fraudulent things, opening a bank account, getting a bunch of funding, and then running off.
Why are people, in your opinion, why are people getting denied in 2026 for business funding? What are some common patterns that you're seeing?
Yeah, man. I mean, and you sort of touched on this earlier. A lot of people are saying banks are tightening up, banks are tightening up.
Mhm.
They are, but I would say just banks were lending at a ridiculous clip post COVID 21, 22, 23. It's not like they're pulling back, they're just coming a little bit more back to reality. And for example, we push so many applications every single day, every single month. We sort of have the data points. For example, maybe one thing you've never heard, and I've heard this straight from the source, straight from a relationship manager. It used to be when you formed, and I'm using Chase a lot because we were speaking about Chase earlier, but this applies for a lot of different banks. Chase, it used to be if you deposited $1,000 and then applied for funding the next day, you could get a max $75,000 approval. Now it's if you start a relationship with Chase, you open a bank account and you apply for funding the next day, the most funding you can get is $50,000, and that's after 3 days. After 5 days, it opens back up to $75,000. So that's the difference there. If you wait 3 days, the max you can get is 50,000. If you wait 5 days, the max you can get is 75,000. So they set up sort of all these little honeypots to sort of deflect against people doing fraudulent things, opening a bank account, getting a bunch of funding, and then running off. And there's a bunch of different things. For example, we spoke about backstage. LexisNexis. You can have an 800 credit score. I'll give you a great example, man. We had a guy. He went for funding probably about a month ago. We worked with him, and he's like, "All funding companies are a scam. This doesn't work." Blah blah blah. And I pull up his credit report, and he had a 780 credit. And I'm like, "Yeah, this doesn't make sense." His name was Jeff. And I looked up his LexisNexis, which again is not available to consume. Like you can, if you request your LexisNexis, you can get it. It just takes a really long time. But anyway, this
Mhm.
guy Jeff, he had a 780 credit, great credit, everything was solid, blah blah blah. And I look up his business credit report on LexisNexis, and it's like it said this guy Edgar was owned his company. I'm like, hey man, hey Jeff, who's Edgar? He's like, oh, that's my ex business partner. He passed away like 5 years ago. I'm like, okay. Well, on LexisNexis, the company, the credit reporting agency that these banks use, it says that Edgar, a dead guy, owns your company. Now, do you think any
Mhm.
bank's going to give you $1? They are not. So we went in, we fixed his LexisNexis, we had a report as him as the primary owner, and then it was off to the races. We got him like $200,000 of funding. But again, he didn't have that expertise. He didn't have access to that, and he was getting frustrated. It's like, hey man, it's all about what's on your LexisNexis. Are you verifiable? Can they confirm without a shadow of a doubt you're a real human being? Another thing I want to dispel. I'm at my apartment right now. I'm in New York City. I'm sure you met someone who's got more fun than me. But I've gotten access to $1.5 million at 0%. Everyone's like virtual address, virtual address. Every single one of my LLCs is attached to my personal address. I'm taking
Mhm.
this call right now from my home. And why that works is because I'm verifiable. They know without a shadow of a doubt Evan Rugen is who he says he is, because there's so many data points that are corroborating what I'm saying to these banks.
That's right. And having the same information so it's cohesive. And I'm glad you brought that up because there are people that are giving, bad information out there,
Yeah,
for business funding. It probably worked for them. It could have been years ago.
right.
And that's what people have to understand is that people have different profiles.
Yeah,
So it may be easier for one person because things are actually matching up. But then you may have a situation like the guy Jeff, where somebody's dead is owning the company and they can't just see it because those types of things is not just blatantly in front of you or on your credit report. So that's
right.
something where you have to dig a little bit deeper. So as you mentioned,